I literally have trained close to 1,500 fat loss clients. I'm pretty sure it's more. I just wanted to be conservative with it and not accidentally lie to you. I have noticed the same four mistakes across almost all of my clients every time they come to me that once we fix them, it completely changes the game for their fat loss and makes it a lot easier. So imagine having a job so fun that you literally didn't want a vacation from it. You didn't need vacations. I know that's kind of like a pipe dream. I bet there's some people out there that have that kind of job. But that would be the dream, right? That's kind of the point here, but for your diet. We need a diet so good that you don't want to escape from it. And I know that kind of sounds corny, but a lot of people, they will come to me and they will be trying to force themselves into, square peg, round hole kind of thing for a diet that they heard was the diet to do, or a diet that just feels right because it's hard. And I want to encourage you that if you are like, man, I've just suffered so much on these diets. It's probably not that you are broken or that you have something wrong with you that doesn't allow you to lose fat. It's that you're trying to do something that you're not designed to do. Like that whole story with the fish trying to climb the tree thing, and fish is meant to be in water, and so we need to press into their skills. It's the same thing here. If you're trying to force yourself into paleo or keto and you hate it, if you love keto, that's going to be a winner for you. I'm not a huge keto fan, but some of my clients do keto because it works for them. And so let's find what works for you. Now, this isn't just find the diet that works for you. There's more to this point here. It's making the diet so good that you don't have to escape from it. It's not needing to go on vacation from your job because your job's so awesome. So if you're new to this channel, then you have not heard about my cookbook yet. It is totally free. In the pinned comment in the description, you can get my cookbook for free. It is high volume, delicious meals. There's protein mac and cheese in there. There's white chicken chili. I mean, it is stuff that is really, really good. I don't focus so much on the health side of things. I try to increase the volume and increase the protein, which is going to keep you full and help you to lose body fat. The way that I see it is if you have like 30 to 100 pounds to lose, if you lose that, you're going to be far healthier than if you tried to force broccoli down your throat and eat a bunch of apples. Now, I'm not saying not to eat fruits and vegetables. And, that is still such a winner in a diet. If you can have a bowl of berries, you are going to be far more full than if you ate crackers and peanut butter. You're going to really drastically lower your calories. So get your fruits, get your vegetables, okay? But in my cookbook, I don't really focus on that a whole lot. They are delicious recipes. You're going to love them. It is going to help you lose weight. It is totally free. So go ahead and grab that in the pinned comment or the description below. Before the next point, I just want to say that whenever you really are in a place that you're so happy with your diet, you're not suffering at all. If you have never felt that, man, I'm excited for you because I'm telling you, I've been where you're at trying to force yourself into this diet that is, this is how a person loses weight. They just suffer. And whenever you unlock your mind from feeling like suffering equals weight loss, and you can turn it into enjoyment equals weight loss, which I know sounds corny. I know it's cliche, but I'm telling you, it is powerful because then you don't want to quit. And when you don't want to quit, you're going to get your results. Okay, so this next point I think is going to be pretty quick because it is so simple and you probably know that you're doing it, but I see people come to me and I'll analyze their food log. At first it'll be like chicken and mashed potatoes, something like that. I don't really focus on, moving away from unhealthy things or things that are high calorie at first. I just focus on actual food logging. And I'll ask them, okay, so you had chicken and mashed potatoes. That's great. What was on the mashed potatoes? Salt and pepper and, well, some butter and some cheese. And it's like, well, that needs to be included in the food log. Now, the point isn't just that you're missing calories in the food log. It's really the sneaky, super high calories. So that's things like oil, condiments, butter, and things like that. I find that the biggest sources of calories that are sneaking into the diet outside of the oil is things in the coffee where a person, they won't log their coffee because it's coffee, it's like calorie free, right? Well, the creamer that you add to it, if you add any sugar to it, those things are going to have calories. And then also the grazing, that is one of the biggest ones, is that if you're preparing food, and even if it's a healthy meal and you eat some here and you eat some there, those 200 calories can really add up. If it's 200 calories here and 100 calories there and 50 calories there, that could be the difference between a person actually losing weight and not losing weight. So at least at first, logging every calorie that goes into your mouth, or understanding at the very least every calorie that goes into your mouth, treating it like part of your meal, never eating between meals and snacks, having some sort of structure that is really, really going to help you. I had one client one time. Now this you're gonna say this doesn't fit the point, and it doesn't because it's not sneaky calories. Their numbers just weren't adding up. To save my life, I could not figure out why they were not losing weight, and I had to start pressing them a little bit. And lo and behold, I find out they have 2 drinks every night, like 2 alcoholic drinks every night. And I was like, well, what are I've never seen that on your log. What are those? And they told me, and I added them up. And it was about 470 something we'll just say 470 calories of vodka and cranberry juice. And it's like, my gosh, that is the difference right there. If everything stays the exact same, we remove that, you're losing weight. And so I know that doesn't quite fit the point, but just really be honest with yourself. What am I consuming? Am I tracking it all? At least for a while, I would have you, if you were my client, I would have you tracking to really see what was going into your body. The next part is going to be practicing being the new you. Again, cliche, I know, but practicing being a new low weight. And what I mean by that is everyone who I coach, they seem terrified, and I get it. I have been there. That's what I think makes me a better coach than average, is that I have felt the pain that you are feeling. They are terrified of plateaus. I think it gives us the thought that we're going to slip back. We're going to go backwards. It's not just that we're stuck here. We're going to go backwards. I promise you're not going to go backwards. Keep applying yourself. And so let me explain what I mean by get used to the new you, or practice being the new you. So the big mistake here is that my clients have no intention when they come to me of doing a diet break. They intend on seeing through their entire fat loss journey with me in those 10 weeks or whatever. And that's usually not going to happen. You're almost always going to need a diet break. I like to phrase it what I just said, practicing being the new weight that you are, because it is a skill that has to be learned. As you lose weight, you're carrying around less, and so your calorie need is going to drop a little bit. Now, ideally, the whole time you've been building muscle, we can kind of prevent that a little bit. You can increase your basal metabolic rate with more muscle, but you are going to have to get used to eating a little bit less. Now, I also want to encourage you that from my experience, and I do have a lot of experience with this, so I promise this is probably you as well, you'll find that once you get used to the habit of not eating as much, it's not a hunger issue, because your body just doesn't need the calories it used to need. And so it's not like you're more hungry or you're just as hungry, but you have to eat less. And now it's just harder to maintain that weight. It's just a habit thing. It's just practicing doing that, which is where it really helps to have a trainer or have an accountability partner of some sort. So they can kind of tell you the hard, like, hey, you're not actually probably hungry. It's probably appetite. Let's practice working at not eating whenever you're used to eating before. So I promise it is a guarantee that you're going to hit a plateau. You probably already know that. You're going to hit several plateaus. So every time you hit it, here's how I coach my clients. I want you to press in harder to your diet. That doesn't mean to eat less. That just means to be even more aware. Practice the food logging. Practice making, coming up with a different recipe. Open up my recipe book and make something else. Practice getting even better in the kitchen at meal prep. Practice those things. And then also press into your weights and your resistance training. Now, I've been using Olympic rings and stuff. I've been talking about it more in my recent videos. I'm going to start going more into them in the future after I get a little better at it and everything. But if you're going to the gym or you're doing an at-home program, doesn't matter. Really press into, if you are stalled, then you should be having a bit more energy in order to press into, increasing your lift. So if you've been stuck at 15 pounds, 15 reps, then try for 16 reps, try for the 20 pounds, because you should be feeling a little bit more energetic since you're not in a calorie deficit anymore and you're not losing weight. Then the last thing, now I know this isn't like really a plateau, it's like a plateau buster, but I want you to look into, am I actually logging everything I eat? That will kind of give you a true analysis. There's always calorie creep, and that is something that a person, whenever they're stuck at a plateau, gets stuck in. But the big lesson here, and I think it's so fun. I hope I'm not laboring on this point too much, because I think it's going to be fun for you to start pressing into, oh, this is the new me. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm going to take pride in that. Instead of being defeated by the fact that I can't lose 25 pounds, I'm going to take pride in the fact that I've lost 20. And I'm going to really press into my athleticism and my strength and my skills of being 20 pounds lighter. And then I promise all of a sudden you're going to be 25 pounds lighter. And then it starts to feel, if you combine it with the first point of I'm not laboring over my diet. Well, now you're not suffering on your diet and you're applying yourself to something other than the scale. it's almost like you forget the goal, the daily, I hope I lose weight. And then it just starts happening again because you released the need to always be progressing. But I promise you're going to progress again. So don't worry. You got this. Have you ever heard the saying that you can't out exercise a bad diet? I really think the opposite is more of a common error. You can't out diet a completely sedentary lifestyle. So a lot of my clients will come to me, and whenever we start tracking their steps, this is with them knowing that I'm going to look into their steps. So obviously they've probably moved a little bit more than normal, because you don't want to be embarrassed moving only 1,000 steps or something like that. The average person will come to me moving 2,000 to 4,000 steps. I'm not exaggerating. I have had days where I have intentionally tested this. I had the flu one time, puking my guts out. Sorry for the description. But I was curious, so I still stuck on my step tracker, and it's on my pocket right now. And I still got 3,000 steps that day just going to the bathroom. Now, granted, I was running to the bathroom a lot, right? But still, just going to the bathroom and getting up to try and eat got me 3,000 steps. So we need to increase our movement by a whole lot. Have the goal of like scaring yourself. That's what I would do at first. I'm not saying it has to be scary. I'm just saying be like, man, can I do that goal? I don't know. Can I walk 12,000 steps? I'm not sure. Let's try to build up to it and add 1,000 steps per week. Let yourself get used to that. And if you plateau at that, that's okay. You can still work on the diet side of things. You can still work on the weightlifting side of things. You can still, be practicing in the kitchen and all those things. And I'm not saying like if you stall on your weight, I'm saying if you stall on your steps, it will shock you as you lose weight and you have a little bit more energy, how much you accidentally move, and so you're going to be moving a lot more throughout this journey. I promise it's going to be okay if you're a little bit stuck or a little bit stalled. So don't worry about that. Just try to increase your steps to something that you think is unbelievable. Something, if you have a desk job, 12,000 might seem insurmountable. But I promise, I bet you can get there if you give it enough time and you don't give up and just accept 4,000 steps a day. You can also focus on, doing some more cardio. I'm big on steps, but obviously cardio is very healthy, and I want you to be doing cardio as well, especially if you're one of my clients. And so, they still do some cardio, but that helps you get your steps, helps you get your movement up. And then in the gym, resistance training, using the rings, anything like that, just anything to get some movement and, walking from the back of the parking lot, going up the stairs instead of taking the elevator, things like that are going to get you a whole lot more movement. If you want to know my full plan that I run my clients through, I'll put it right here. That is called my dial system. At least I call it my dial system. And it is how I tweak all of these aspects as a person approaches their fat loss. And so we dial it in. I think you're really going to enjoy that video.